Hey guys, it's Parsifal. I also go by Will, and I am back with another speed paint. Now, this is kind of a speed paint for someone else, but it wasn't originally, and I'm gonna get into that because, as you can see from the title of the video, if I have titled this correctly, this video is about character revamps. And so I was originally drawing this just to revamp this character design that I was using at one point for like personal RPs and stuff. I hadn't actually drawn this character ever, but I found this in my old files. I didn't really use this character anymore, so I figured I would just draw her design again, revamp her, and do something with her. And my baby sibling actually expressed interest in using her and taking her, so I gave this character to them. And yeah, so this is, I guess, kind of not a character babble anymore because I'm not going to be talking about how I use this character, but instead I'm going to be talking about just sort of revamping characters in general and my thoughts about it, as well as various thoughts about, like, in general, having old concepts and making them new again. I also might sort of touch on using, like, doll makers and stuff for reference images, but I feel like that's a topic for another video, so while I might talk about it a little bit here, I think I'm gonna save that one for a future video as well. So I'm not going to go into depth about it or my opinions on it, or at least I shouldn't. Hopefully I don't ramble too much. But yeah, I basically originally had this character for my fairyverse. She's this dark elf princess, and I didn't really have a concept for her at the time. I was just RPing her for fun. So I didn't really have the time or energy at the time that I was using her back when I was in college to draw like a full ref for her, and it was just faster to go on a doll maker and make the design there and then use that for a quick reference if anyone needed to see how she looked. And I have a bad luck with characters who wear pink where I don't really use them that much, unfortunately. I used her a couple of times, as I said, as a background character, so I used her for mainly like developing interpersonal relationships or inter-kingdom relationships for the story that the RP was in. But after that RP ended, I didn't really use her after that, and I didn't really ever draw her. I only had this reference picture of her. So after this, I kind of just let her sit in my computer for a while, and honestly, I forgot about her, which is kind of sad because I think her character design is pretty cute. I like her concept. I like the fact that I used her before, and it felt really sad to me, at least me personally, to just see a character not be used like that when I used to use her a decent amount. And regardless of people's concepts of character ownership, design ownership, etc., stuff like that, I've actually adopted a bunch of characters from people who just don't use them anymore. So this is just kind of how I personally have used characters a lot. Now, of course, I am very personal with my characters generally, so this is kind of a new thing for me to revamp old concepts and either use them again or give them to my friends. So it's not something that I'm entirely used to yet. I kind of want to get used to it a little bit, but it's something that I have built a lot of my characters on. One of my main character stories is the main character is a character who I adopted from my roommate, and his queer platonic partner is a character who I adopted from one of my classmates. So this is just kind of a thing that I've done over time. So it's not something that I'm against personally. Whether you guys have different opinions on that is entirely up to you, but at least me personally, I have no issues with redesigning a character and giving them away to someone, or potentially even selling them if I made the design myself. It's a really weird sort of situation that one's a little bit more of a gray area that I don't have much knowledge of, unfortunately, but I know a lot of people do it. But I feel like personally when redesigning a character, well, at least in the first place, if the character doesn't have any recent art, at the very least, I personally feel obligated to at least give them some updated art, not just give them away to someone without any recent stuff. And yeah, that's work on my part, and I don't even use this character anymore, but it I feel like it's kind of like selling a car to someone. You don't want to give them your old car that doesn't have any work done in it. You want to give them something that's updated because it's something that you put a lot of time and effort into. In the case of a car, it's something that you used a lot, and you want to make sure that whoever you're giving it to has a similar experience in terms of getting a car that's reliable, getting something that's updated and not going to break down on you as soon as they leave the lot or leave your garage or whatever. And for me, I just wanted to update this character's image and actually give her a picture in my style since she used to be mine, and not have it just as a doll maker design, because I used to use her and I wanted to make sure she had some updated art if I was going to give her away. Now, not everyone does this. I don't feel like everyone should do this. It's just my personal policy for if I'm planning on giving a character away, I guess. And in this case, even though I don't usually give characters away, I feel like I want to get more into making sure that characters that I don't use anymore, that I'm never going to revamp, because, I know in my last video, my last speed paint, I said that a lot of my background characters become, new characters, and I still believe that, but this character was a standalone. She didn't really have too much besides what I used her for, and I invent so many background characters that sometimes I just don't use them anymore. So I wanted to make sure that she'd go to someone who would, appreciate her, and the stuff that I had for her was going to be something that, showed how much I appreciated her myself and how much I used her. And when I gave her to my baby sibling, it was just really this art piece, but I also know that my baby sibling talks to me on a regular basis. We talk daily, we're siblings, and they know how much that I actually love her design and love her as a character, and I know that my baby sibling is going to give her a good home and, use her, put her in a story, stuff like that. So yeah, I honestly have no problems with revamping characters to give to other people, to even sell. Of course, I don't think that it should be one of those things where it's like, oh, I'm going to draw one picture of this design and then sell it for $100. I think that's kind of lame. At the very least, you should, not, I don't want to say don't be a jerk about it. And I also don't want people to undervalue their work, but it's still one of those things that's that's kind of scalping a little bit. Not entirely because work has value, but yeah, that's entirely a different topic too, about selling characters. But yeah, I guess this was more just a ramble about revamping characters and how I feel like giving them away after revamping them is understandable, because most of my character stories are built on characters who I've adopted from other people. But yeah, this character now belongs to my sibling. I know she has a good home, and I'm pretty happy with the art that I did of her, actually. I think she looks really cute. But yeah, that's about it, and I don't really have much else to say besides that, even though now that I'm looking at the screen, I'm kind of upset at myself for not centering this image, though I don't think there was actually a way to do that. But yeah, thank you guys so much for your support. If you'd like to support me, I have a Patreon where I post daily sketch dumps or monthly sketch dumps. I need to figure out exactly what I'm doing with my Patreon. But yeah, and if you have any comments or questions, you can put them down in the description below or contact me on any of my social media. Thank you guys so much for your support. Bye!